Hello and welcome back to another episode of T Money Talks. In this week's episode, T Money's going to talk about their dream goal, their life goal that they have always wanted since they were a child. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hello. Welcome back. I don't know. I feel like I was going to say hello for like 5 minutes straight there for a second. And then I caught myself and I was like, why are you going to do that? I don't know. I I don't know. I've been feeling kind of off lately, to be honest. I don't know. I just felt like not so much myself, but also still kind of very much myself. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird place for me right now. But anyways, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to talk. I needed to say some things, and I felt like what better way to do that than through the podcast? I mean, that's the whole point of it, is talking, doing this whole thing, just saying whatever's on my mind, whatever certain topic I have, which I do have a great topic for you guys, by the way. This episode is like it's going to be a great one. I'm not even going to say it's going to be the best episode I have, because I feel like I'll say that about every episode because they just, all of them are. Anyways, that's a whole nother thing that I'm gonna try not to go in. Anyway, so this week I'm talking about what my life goal has been since I was a child. I kid you not, since I was a child. And before we get on to that, I don't know, let's just go reverse back to what I was talking about. I don't know, I just been feeling kind of weird, feeling the need to like talk, say some things, so figured why not record the podcast, get whatever needs to get out so I could feel a little bit better, so I could continue to work and improve or do whatever it is the universe needs me to do, or what my body or myself needs me to do right now, because it's the whole point of this podcast, is helping me through it all, folks, through it all. But yeah, so I don't know, just kind of, I don't want to call it a funk, because I definitely don't feel like I'm in a funk, but I feel like it kind of resembles a funk, but not completely. Yeah. Anyways, let's. The whole reason also why I was like, you know what, let's just do the podcast, is because I always feel better after it. I always feel good, and I figured instead of just talking, just rambling on about anything I could ramble on about, I figured, you know what, let's go in with one of my brainstormed ideas and talk about something fun, talk about something that'll be really entertaining and will hopefully cheer everyone, including myself, up by the time that this podcast episode is over. But I must say, my life goal is pretty wild, and how detailed I have it too is just insane. Like, sometimes I wonder, or I ponder the thought that maybe my life goal kind of is a way of me remembering my past lives, possibly. I don't know. I think possibly it's a possibility. I definitely am open to the idea of that being a possibility, because of how well detailed and structured I have wanted this and thought about this. It's pretty insane. So I think it is a pretty good possibility that this life goal I have of mine is kind of me remembering different parts of my past lives, and I think that's pretty cool, which is really insane now that I think about it, because I never would have thought of that being a possibility before, but now I do, and so I think that's really cool. Well, anyways, let's just get right into it. Besides, let me stop making you guys wonder or try to guess, or like probably yelling, tell us what your life goal is already. You know, I won't procrastinate or prolong it any longer. Let's just get right into what my life goal is. So ever since I was a child, like, I kid you not, from as long as I can remember, I've always had this desire or this dream or this hope that this would somehow, in some way, shape or form, happen to me. My dream goal, my dream job, my dream life, like, if this could happen, if I could make it happen, my goal would be to run the Spanish mafia while also being the president of the United States. Yes, you heard me correct. My dream goal is to be the head honcho, like the main guy, the runner, like the boss of all bosses. I want to be in charge of the Spanish mafia while also being the president of the United States. And I know that sounds crazy and absurd, and it's kind of like, why on earth would you want that for yourself? But I have my reasons. Like, I'm telling you, I know exactly and how I would want it to go. It's like I could see it as a movie in my head every time I talk about it, every time I think about it. And although that's not going to happen in this life, I do know, like, in some other reality, this has happened, but not in this one. This dream I have is not set in this reality, which is fine, because honestly, as cool as it sounds, I don't think I would want it in this reality, at least right now. Yeah, I don't think I would want it in this reality, maybe in a different lifetime, possibly. But yeah, my dream job, my dream goal, my dream life is to be the main leader of the Spanish mafia while being the president of the United States. And here's my reasonings. The president is very powerful. The leader of the Spanish mafia is just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the president. That was my phone that just dropped. Oh, I'm gonna pick it up, because if I don't, then you're gonna hear it start vibrating if it vibrates at some point, and then we just don't want people's imaginations to go lingering, thinking other things are going on, because that's nasty. Anyways, so yes, the president is very powerful. The leader of the Spanish mafia is just as powerful, if not more powerful. And what if you had the chance to be both? Have the power of the mafia, of a gang, of like all that power and strength and everything that comes along with that, and then also being the president, and all of that power and all of those perks and and all of that, having all that power and using it for good, using it to make a real difference in the world, making a real change in the world. Now, we will go more into detail about how I see this would play out if it did happen. Because obviously I would have to join the Spanish mafia first, work my way up through the ranks to become the main guy, to become the head honcho, to become the ruler of all that is the Spanish mafia. So obviously, so I'm just going to go ahead and go from the start of how this would start out to the very end, and as I go throughout the story, I will have side stories about why this is, or I might just do that all at the end. Who knows? We'll see. We're just gonna vibe with it anyways. So here's how this dream goal of mine would start out. So obviously I would find my way to the Spanish mafia. I would find a way to join, to get in, to do whatever it is I had to do for them to let me into their homes, to let me into the Spanish mafia. I would do whatever it is I had to do. I would obviously work my way up through the ranks, do the work, do whatever it is you gotta do in the Spanish mafia so that you could get to the higher boss, alright? Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, I would join the Spanish mafia, work my way up to the ranks, continue to like just do the work, put in the time until it was finally my turn. I was finally in charge. I was finally there. And I don't know in the perfect reality of this, I would probably have made it to being the main leader of the Spanish mafia in like my late 30s. I want to say I would be at like my prime, or I would be at like either the late 30s or the start of my 30s is when I would start taking the role of the main boss of the Spanish mafia. Yes, so that in my 30s, I'm just so powerful in my 30s. That is just the power that'll resonate, is I'm the leader of the Spanish mafia in my 30s, at my prime, looking fine. Like I haven't even ran for president yet at this point. President hasn't come around yet for me. I haven't reached that level of power yet. So I'm there. I'm finally becoming the main boss. I'm the ruler of the Spanish mafia. And I kid you not, I oftentimes have oftentimes throughout my entire life pictured me having these big fancy dinners with all my friends, with family, and my giant Spanish mafia money home. Because, it would have to be the fanciest of homes, the luxurious of luxury, the power, the wealth, everything. It would just, like picture, like The Godfather. That's what I would become. And I'm having dinners with my family, with my friends. We're all having a great time. I'm sitting at the front, like the main part of the table, so everyone could like see me. And then one of my security men come up to me and whisper something in my ear, and then suddenly the room gets quiet because we all know something's going down. Someone's got the audacity to bother me during my family and friend dinner. How dare they? They know very well not to disturb me when I'm with my family and friends, because that is their time and no one else's. So in order for someone to bother me during this time, it is a very serious issue that I have to attend to. So the room gets real quiet, like you could hear a pin drop. That's how quiet it gets, because we're like, oh shoot, is T Money gonna go off right now, or am I just gonna walk away and go attend to the phone call that was just interrupting my dinner? And then after I leave, of course, then everyone gets back to talking, because we don't want to make the room too quiet. They don't want to make me feel too whatever the feeling would be if that ever happened. But I have too many like daydreams about that. I've had that too many times throughout my whole life. I don't know why. That's always just, and that's something I also want to do in this lifetime, is just kind of when I get my own home, is have big like dinner parties from like my family, stuff from my friends, and just to have that be surrounded by people like that, and just having a day, like a set time, even if it's just for a couple of hours, with the people you love and you care about. And that's something that I've always wanted to do, and that's how that plays a role in my life goal. Anyway, so back to my life goal story. So yes, so obviously I've had fantasies like that, and then I would go answer the phone call. Obviously it's something I have to go attend to, because obviously this is going to be a big enough of a situation to disturb me during my family time. Anyway, so then I go attend to the phone call. They tell me yada yada yada, and then I gotta go fix the problem. And then usually I will probably make it back to dinner when everyone's done, which would be very upsetting on my part, because now my mess had to interfere with my plans. But anyways, that's how those ones would go down. And then other times I think about sorry, lost my train of thought. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. Anyway, so that's just like a daydream that I think about from time to time. But anyway, so after I have mastered, or not even mastered, after I've become in charge of the Spanish Mafia in my 30s, of course, I would then see how bad the world is, and knowing with all the change that needs to be done, I would know that the only person who could help make this change is someone like me, because I have the power of the Spanish Mafia by my side already. And throughout, like, I wouldn't run for president till like the end of my 30s. So I've like already, like, during my 30s, I'm like going around like trying to, like, get the word out on me, like potentially running for president at some point, so that I could get people like thinking, get voters like rallied up, and start talking about all this change I would make. And so then we fast forward, I become president while still running the Spanish Mafia. Okay, like this is where like the height of my like dream comes in. It's like I'm finally president, and as I'm president, I'm making all this change. Like I instill like so many more new rules, I truly do like start making the world a better place. I bring stoning back for yes, and if I were to become president while running the Spanish Mafia, one of the main things I would do is I would bring stoning back. And if stoning was never a thing, I would make stoning a thing, so that people can stone criminals to their death, so that certain crimes that are really high and bad right now would start to eliminate, because if you do something that is worthy of the standards of being stoned to death, you will be stoned to death. So, for example, the police that are out here shooting African American people for no reason, they would get stoned to death. There would be no question. The only question would be, is why do you think it would be okay to point your gun at a child who did nothing wrong or was doing nothing that threatened your life? They would get stoned to death. Simple as that. And the people who would get to stone them, if they chose to, would be the victim, would be the families, would be the victim's family, or if the victim of whatever said crime is still alive, may also do it themselves. You don't have to stone the person. You could watch other people stone the person, the criminal. It's totally up to you. But anyways, yes, that would be like the main thing for me. That would be my main law, like bill, whatever it is, I would pass during my presidency, so that crimes would significantly decrease. And if I do understand that at the same time that could create more crimes and issues, but again, this is in my perfect reality where I am the president and the leader of the Spanish Mafia. So other issues, I don't really consider them that, because I'm just assuming in this world, in my world, I am making so much good change that this is actually working. Cops are stopping killing African Americans for no reason. People are stopped raping women because they can do whatever they want. Anyways, that like crime would go down, and I would be making so much of a change. Here's here's where it takes a little bit of a turn in my life goal story. So I would be making so much change, so much drastic good, like a drastic change, like so much good in the world, that there are people who can't handle it. They don't want the change. They are resistant towards it. That they started an organization or a person. It doesn't even have to be an organization. It could just be one person who hates everything that I've done so much that they assassinate me. Yes, the president of the United States, who is also the leader of the Spanish Mafia, gets assassinated. Because in my opinion, I feel like all the best presidents, the truly best presidents, get assassinated for the change that they are bringing upon this world. So it's me, to my belief, if I get assassinated while I was the president and running the Spanish Mafia all at the same time, that would mean that I did the change I wanted to. I was inflicting the changes that the world needed, so that no one would have to go through these things anymore. But anyways, yes, so part of my life goal is getting assassinated as the president and ruler of the Spanish Mafia, which again is why I say that will not happen during this reality, during this lifetime, because again, that's just not gonna happen, and that's okay. That's fine. It's now ultimately just a dream life for me that I think is really fun to fantasize about sometimes, because I mean, I'd be so powerful. I would be so powerful, but that will not happen in this lifetime, and I'm repeating that enough so that the universe knows that what I'm saying is not to be taken literally. This is all just a figment of my imagination. If it were to ever happen, it would never happen during this lifetime. So understand that, universe. And back to my dream story. Not my dream job, my dream life story. Yeah, anyway, we all know what I'm talking about. So yes, I'm inflicting so much change on the world that I get assassinated. The ruler of the Spanish Mafia and the president of the United States, the same person, gets assassinated. And here's the thing, here's the real kicker, is not only does the assassination come from and here's the thing, is it doesn't even have to be, I don't even have to be assassinated by the person who hates the amount of change I have started. It could also be someone from a different mafia coming to assassinate me. Like, as this person so powerful, the Spanish Mafia leader and the president of the United States, yeah, I'm gonna have some real enemies there. Some real enemies. So the possibilities of me getting assassinated by someone that hates the things that I'm doing, the changes that I'm doing on the world, I don't know what word I was trying to find, but I hope it comes. But these people hate it so much that they need to assassinate me. They need to take me out because I'm doing too good. But again, not in this lifetime. Not in this lifetime. All right. But yeah. So then I'm gone. I've died. I've passed away. I'm no longer running the Spanish Mafia and the president. I have then passed on. I've made the change that I needed to make. I did the things that I needed to do during that time of being the president and the leader of the Spanish Mafia. But here's the thing. I've thought about it more than that. There's more. That's not where the story ends. That is not where the story ends. So I'm then I'm assassinated. Then for my burial, I'm not even gonna be buried under the ground. Here's the thing. I will want my body burned, essentially cremated, but it would be done in either a lake, not at the ocean, probably the lake, some lake somewhere. I will have my body burned on a pallet or something, and then they cremate me and y'all put me in a little urn or something, and it's just forever there in the middle of that pond. My body just remains there. And the reason why I want that to happen is that obviously there will be a placard saying here lies president / leader of the Spanish Mafia, T-Money, da da da, you know. It'll say that, but eventually over time, more and more, it'll kind of just wear out, and it'll kind of just to the point where it's just kind of Spanish Mafia, president of the United States type of things that all you could read. So eventually people have to tell stories about that urn in the middle of the lake on that pallet. So eventually different legends, different legacies of who I was as a person, as what I did for the world, would live on forever through different interpretations, different ways people have heard it or remembered my story. That's how it would happen, is essentially I would never die. Physically, yes, I would be gone, but I would forever remain in the world because people would remember all the good I did and all the stuff I changed and all the laws I enforced and how cool it was that I was the Spanish Mafia leader and the president of the United States. So that is my dream life goal. I don't know why that's my dream life goal, and which is why, again, I say I think it's me possibly remembering my past lives or things I've done in my past life. I'm not saying that I was president in a past life or anything, or that I was in the mafia or nothing like that. I think maybe this is a way of me remembering certain things, certain feelings I had in these past lives. So maybe in a past life I was very wealthy, or I was very powerful, or I was making change. Maybe that's what I'm remembering from my past lives. Or it could be a different thing where it could be the universe talking to me, telling me during this lifetime I need to make a change. I need to help the world see things differently. I need to make a difference somehow. I will become very powerful. I will become very wealthy. And that's this life goal, this dream that I've had, minus the assassination, because that is not happening in this lifetime, not in this reality. That is not happening. Anyways, so I think that maybe it's either me remembering my past lives or me seeing and understanding the way I have to live this life, what I meant. And I know what my purpose in this life is. When I had that birth chart reading, I've done all the work in my past lives. I've done the lessons. I've done everything that I've needed to do in the past. And now in this lifetime, I'm here to help people. I'm here to make a difference. I'm here to make the change. I'm here to do pretty much everything that I was saying in my life goal. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm meant to do. Is I'm here to help make a change, help make a difference, teach people, do something. I'm here to make my stamp on the world. That is my of course, I'm very not going very much into detail. I'm just kind of give you a very big kind of like just the umbrella of what my purpose on this world is. But yes, I think that's why I've always had this strong desire for like power and money, is because those are the things that I deserve, and I've done everything that I needed, and now I just need to keep going till I get there. And I am almost there. I could feel myself becoming more powerful, and I am getting more money. I am doing all these things. I am slowly making a change through these podcasts, through TikTok, through my music, through videos, through everything I do. I am constantly helping others or making change. It might not be a very big change, like my becoming the president and running the Spanish Mafia may not be that drastic of a change on the world, but it is enough change within individuals for me to know that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I am following in a similar footsteps of my dream goal, minus the assassination, of course, because I'm not the president or in the Spanish Mafia, so that will never happen, because that is not going to happen. But this life goal I've had, this thing I've fantasized about, is in a sense has been a way to guide me to what I want in this life, to what I know I'm capable of doing. And I think that's really cool. I didn't know that. I never really thought about it like that until right now. And I think maybe that's why I was so called to or drawn to talk about this dream, like goal, this life goal I've had. Why I haven't thought about it in quite some time recently. I haven't thought about it for a few years, actually. So I think there was a purpose, there was a reason why I was like, you know what, I could talk about that on the podcast. That would be really good. Is because not only is that life goal I have entertaining, like a really wild, like very detailed, like movie like script idea that I have on my life goal. The reason that it came again is because now I'm at a different place in my life where I'm open to things, where I'm willing to hear and see and look through different perspectives on things and thoughts I've had in the past. So to have this dream, this thought come full circle again on me, I'm realizing all these things that have come from it, that I didn't know about it until now. And that's just how crazy it is to get to know yourself, to look back on things you've done, or to actually heal yourself, or to hear and accept the things that the universe is trying to tell you, to hear and listen and not be afraid of the change that's coming. And I feel like, I don't know, this life goal I've had of mine is very wild and crazy, and I think that's a real representation of how my life now is I may not be 30. I mean, it's a similar, the way my life goal is, I explain, is kind in a way similar to how this past year has been. It's been very crazy and wild, but of course I'm not running for president anytime soon, because I haven't done anything of the work that would allow me to do that, and honestly I'm too lazy to do that, which is why it wouldn't happen. It's a great idea, it's a great thing. If I would have done it, that'd be cool, but I didn't put in the work to be the president, and that's fine. And I also didn't put in the work to go join the Spanish Mafia. So that one's just not gonna happen either. Like, it's fun, it's cool to think about, but I know it's not gonna happen, and it's fine. It's just a fun thing I have that I have now discovered is honestly a way I'm learning more about myself. I'm learning that, as a kid, that's one really crazy detailed life goal you have, but it's so much more than that. It's so much more than a life goal. And I think that's what's crazy, is that all these years I've thought about it, all these years I've daydreamed about it, which is why it's so detailed now, is that it all was just my way of dealing with things as they happen, my way of reminding myself that no matter what, like, I'm gonna be that powerful. I'm going to be that wealthy. I will have all these things and these similar feelings that I have in this life that I've created for myself in my head, essentially. It's slowly becoming reality. Yeah, it may not be happening as quickly as I wanted or as soon as I would have liked, but things are rolling, things are happening. This life goal of mine is something that has helped me and is kind of unfolding almost, but not really, because again, I cannot emphasize how many times, universe, I will not be assassinated in this lifetime. I just will not. That's not happening. Anyways. Yeah, that's my life goal. If you can believe it or not, that is my life goal. That has been my life goal since I was a child. That is something I've fantasized about since I was young. That's how you know it's real. That's how you know I was serious about this dream. You know, it's just crazy to think. And then too, that is also a crazy thing, is like, why is a child, like, why do they want to run a Spanish mafia? Like, what that's like a whole nother layer that you could unfold, whether, you know, like, you could probably, no, I'm not even gonna say it. It's just, that's a layer you could really dive deep and go down a rabbit hole about, honestly, if we're being real here. But yeah, that's another thing, is I will also wanted to dive a little bit deeper about who I am, about what kind of qualities or things about myself that I wanted people to hear, or for me to also discover about myself. Because although I knew I've always had this desire to have a lot of money, be able to live comfortably, that's always been a desire of mine, and to be very powerful, but now to like kind of dive deep and understand why I've always wanted these things. It's really cool to understand myself a little bit more, because with these episodes I do understand a little bit more about myself as we go on, and I hope that you too are also discovering something a little bit more about yourself, either when you're listening to this podcast or after listening to this podcast. Because it's really cool to get to know yourself, because no one's gonna know yourself better than yourself, man. But yeah, this life goal of mine is crazy, and why I have always thought of this since I was a child. Like, I don't even know who or why it was implanted in my brain, this idea, which is why I think it was like, it could possibly be a past life type of thing, or with a little bit of the universe slipping in there to like tell me, like, you know, to like he'd be like, hey, we're hearing you, we're listening, we're doing the thing, you're doing the work, you know. So I think that's really cool. Jeez, I don't know anymore. I don't know, because that's all I got. That's all I have, you know. Is I knew describing my dream, like my life goal, wasn't gonna be very long, but it was. I know you people like had to have envisioned exactly what I said, and if you didn't, that's okay. I hope you enjoyed my story about my life goal, because it was really good. It was very good. I must say so myself. I kind of am rambling at this point because, again, I lost track of what I was saying. I went a little bit too far off course or off topic, and I completely lost track of what I was saying like 5 minutes ago. I feel like it wasn't 5 minutes ago, but it feels like it was 5 minutes ago. But I just know that the main focus of this episode is my life goal, so I'm just gonna slowly bring that up until who knows what happens. But anyways, yeah, now you know why my life goal is to become the leader of the Spanish Mafia and the President of the United States. You know, it's just, I want to see so much change in the world, and I felt like sometimes I felt a lot like that I had to make that change. Like, I had to be the one to make that big change. I'm the one that needs to make the world a better place. I'm the one that needs to do everything. Like I've always said, I felt very much like the Avatar, because I felt like I've felt like I've had to save the world. Not essentially a hero's complex, but I think that's why my life goal has been so like crazy like that, is that I feel like it's my responsibility to change the way things are. But now I think I'm learning that I was looking at it as the world as a whole, and now I kind of need to learn how to change my own world. How I need to know, and I'm learning how to fix the things in my own world, in my life, and so now I'm doing all of that, which is why I say that my life, how it is now, is kind of similar to that life goal I have, is because I am making a change. It may not be in the entire world because I'm not the president or because I'm not the Spanish mafia leader, but I am making small changes in the world and big changes in my world, in my life. I'm making drastic changes. I'm doing these crazy things, and yeah, to some people the things I'm doing now are crazy to them, but to me it makes total sense. It's not crazy, it's not fake, I'm not going insane, I promise. It's just me changing my world, rediscovering who I am, figuring out my life, trying to figure out who I am, what makes me happy, what makes me smile, what makes me want to continue to move on in this world, what makes me want to get to my goals. And it's just crazy how much I'm noticing my life goal is kind of correlating with what I'm doing currently. It's just wild, is to talk to yourself, to do these things, to do the work. It's really crazy, which is why I love astrology. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. Astrology is real to me and to many other people out there. It's real. Their spirituality is a real thing that not many people accept, and that is fine, but it's something I have accepted. It's something that helped me open up my mind, which is why I felt comfortable enough to be able to share this life goal of mine, because it's not something that I tell everyone. It's not like I promise you, it's not like a party trick. It's not a topic of conversation that I bring up very lightly around people, because a lot of my friends don't even know that this is my life goal. It's something that I don't share with everyone, because I know it's something that not everyone is going to understand, or like be like, is this person okay? Like, do they need some help? Like, it's more than just the story that you're being told. It means something to me, and I feel like this space I've created for myself is safe enough for me to talk about this, and so that no one's gonna come at me and try to make me not believe what I believe, or change my mind about what I believe, or make fun of me for what I believe. I've created this space for myself that is so safe and so comforting and so uplifting and so just grateful for myself, that I feel comfortable opening up. I feel okay letting you in on how my mind thinks, on how the way I perceive stuff, on how I feel about certain things, is because the space I'm creating for myself, because I create it every day. Every time I record this, I create it as everything I do. I'm constantly creating this space for myself, so that I know it's okay to have these feelings, it's okay to have these thoughts, it's okay to think certain ways sometimes, as long as you remember who you are, as long as you remember not to lose yourself in certain things, which is why I know this life goal I have would be cool, but I know in reality that's not going to actually happen to me in this lifetime, and that's okay. But it's important for me to take aspects of that life, that goal I want, and implement them into my actual life, so that I can make a difference, so that I am actually making that change that I want to see. Those things that I want in that life can actually come here in this life. And I just think that's amazing. Like, the things I'm discovering, the things that I've learned in this episode alone is crazy, because I feel like in every single podcast episode that I record, that you hear, I'm constantly learning something new about myself, or something that I've had a thought before. Like, it's just every day I unravel a layer of who I am, and you hear me unravel that and make that discovery right in that moment. Like, in this moment in time, I am making these discoveries, I am learning these things, and you're listening to them. They're being recorded so that if I need to ever hear these things again, I can be reassured. And I think that's a very good thing, is to have that relationship with yourself, to be able to comfort yourself, to be there for yourself, to be able to do the things that another person could do for you, but to be able to do it for yourself, so that in case no one else is there for you when in a time of need, you're there for yourself. And that's ultimately who really matters, who really needs to be there, is yourself, for yourself. Yes, it's important to have other people, but ultimately the best relationship you should always have is with yourself. And that's what I'm learning in this week's episode. Jeez, oh wow. See, I knew if I would have just kept rambling, whatever feeling, however that funk I've been feeling in needed to be let out. And I'm glad I got it out, because I feel so much better. And I feel like you've been well entertained. I've been well entertained with letting you guys know what my life goal is: to run the Spanish Mafia and become the president of the United States. Like, that's a great thing. I'm glad you guys know that. I'm glad I got to talk to more people about it, because I think it's a great thing that I wish I could talk to more people about, but I can't, and that's okay. So I think since I now feel better, I hope you feel better and you feel good after listening to this. I think that's a good place for me to end this podcast, because if I don't, I will really ramble and it'll just get boring and there won't be any more lessons coming. So until next time, this is T Money saying live your life, because you're the only one who get it. All right, bye.